Welcome to today's episode of the Declutter Hub podcast, your channel for super easy, no nonsense advice on how to declutter and organise your home. Please welcome your hosts, professional organisers Ingrid Jansen and Leslie Spellman. Hello and welcome listeners to episode 5 of the Declutter Hub podcast. I'm Ingrid.
And I'm Leslie.
If you have clutter and want to sort it out, this is the show for you. In today's episode, we're talking all about why November is the best month to do your Christmas decluttering. Now, most people have it in their mind that January is the perfect month to declutter, but we want to talk to you today about why we think November is actually a great month to declutter and to get prepared for the holiday season.
We actually like every month decluttering.
Yeah.
Every month's a good time to declutter.
That is definitely true. But there are definitely benefits of why November is a good month to get already some of that decluttering out of the way. So give me a good reason, Leslie. Why do you think our listeners should do some decluttering as well in November?
If ever there is a time that you want to be proud of your house, and I know this might sound a little bit vacuous, but it's true, is when people are coming into it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you don't want to be judged. You want to live in a house that looks lovely. And Christmas generally is the time when people are coming to visit. You know, it may be that because of your house, you don't have people to come and visit. Maybe this is the year that actually people can come to you, even if it's just for a coffee or whatever. Mm-hmm. But, you know, baby steps. And so let's do that. But that might be quite a nice thing. So people will be coming into your home. Mm-hmm. And so what better time now to have a home that you can be proud of?
Yeah. Or if you are planning a big Christmas dinner and it's at your house, and you felt embarrassed about your house in previous years, maybe by doing something already now and using November to do some decluttering and organizing, you actually feel a lot happier and prouder to having people over for dinner or Christmas dinner or a party that you're organizing. It doesn't really matter what it is. People are coming into your home and you want to make them feel welcome.
Yeah, and you want to be calmer. It's going to make you calmer as well, of course. If the house is calmer, you're going to be calmer. Mm-hmm. I know that there is Christmas dinner to cook as well, to be fair. So that is less calming. But yeah, wouldn't it be nice if the house was all looking great before December comes around?
And we're not talking about every nook and cranny here, you know. I mean, if you want to pick three rooms, you might want to spend a bit of time in your kitchen. You might want to spend some time in your living room. And if you're going to have people over in your guest room, you might want to do your guest room. But so we're not talking about a complete decluttering of your whole house and every nook and cranny in the month of November. That's not realistic, is it really?
No, not at all. I think it's useful what you said about the spare room. Mm-hmm. It's a really important one because spare rooms quite often, if we're lucky enough to have one, can become dumping grounds, particularly if you're just looking at 2 or 3 rooms. Your natural progression is going to be, well, we'll just put that in the spare room for now, and then that's when it kind of becomes this overwhelming dumping ground that many of us have got in our spare rooms now. So if you do have guests, or if you know the possibility is going to be there that you can have guests to stay over, even if it's just for one night, how nice would that be if you had a guest room that you could be proud of as well, and that was clutter-free and organised. Yeah,
and you know what? We all know that the holiday season is a time when you have a lot of stuff coming into your home. And I'm not talking only about people, but also about food and presents and a Christmas tree. I mean, it's all going on, isn't it, really?
Yeah, your house is full to the brim over that Christmas period as well.
And you need room to put everything and everybody. So having a bit of a clear out in November can really be beneficial to feel like your house is ready as well to have this influx of stuff coming in.
Because when those, you know, even if you take control and you say, you know what, we're not going to do a crazy Christmas and buy tons and tons of presents, other people do. So sometimes you don't have control over that. Mm-hmm. There's so much stuff coming in. It's just nice to have the space. Then you can have that place for everything and everything in its place. But if you don't do that decluttering before Christmas comes around, then you're left with a kind of, oh my word, where is all this stuff going to go after Christmas?
Yeah.
And so...
Yeah, and I think especially when there are children in the family and when there are small children in the family, even more so, to do a bit of a toy clear out.
Yeah, absolutely.
if maybe you're not going to have any guests over, so you not have to worry about the guest room, but maybe you do know that grandparents and family members buy a lot of toys for the kids. So maybe your action for November could be, I'm going to clear out some of the kids' toys, so there's actually room to put all of these new presents that are coming into this house.
Yeah, and equally it might. If you do a toy clear out, people are always asking, aren't they? What shall I buy? What shall I buy for them? What do they need? Truth is they probably don't need much, but you could give them pointers about what, if you do, and it's almost like doing an audit of your rooms, isn't it? By looking at what you've got in them. And, toy rooms can be messy and everything gets jumbled up and you forget what you've got. The kids don't play with half the stuff. So much as decluttering a playroom is difficult, takes time, it can be really useful because all of a sudden you can almost do what I'd like to call precision shopping, which is where you can direct people appropriately to buy the right things rather than duplicate things all the time.
Yeah. Or maybe even when you are doing a toy clear out, you are realizing how many toys there are and how much they haven't even gotten around to playing with in the first place from last Christmas. And maybe that can focus you on saying, I would like to have experiences rather than toys this year. Or you can maybe say to grandparents, for example, instead of spending all of the amount on toys, can we not put some aside into maybe a savings account or maybe in an envelope with some money so they can go to the cinema or do something fun, and the other amount on toys? So you can steer it a bit more as well,
yeah,
I think.
I think so. But you ultimately then have to have control and you have to have the knowledge to steer that, don't you?
Yeah.
And, I get overwhelmed when I'm doing playrooms and I do this as my day job. Sometimes when you walk into a playroom, it is like, whew, this is a lot of work and there's a lot of, tiny little things to sort out. The other thing that I wanted to say really about toys is that we can repurpose and regift these. So we've got the ideal opportunity at Christmas. There's toy drives, there's all the, giving things away, all the collections that they do. They do things at schools, there's school fairs, all those kind of things. So if there's toys that are unwrapped and unused that the kids haven't played and maybe they've grown out of, they can be repurposed without you having to go out and spend your valuable money on buying things that you've already got in the house.
If it's in good condition, why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a perfect opportunity. And also, I think what I find is that if you do a bit of decluttering and a bit of sorting stuff out, I always find that I still have some wrapping paper and I still have some gift tags and I have some Christmas cards. And so I try to kind of gather all of those things in November and see what I've got left from last year so I can take stock and realize, I don't need to buy as much as I thought I had to because I still have some stuff here that I can use again, that's still left over from last year.
Because if you've not gathered that together and not looked at what you've got, you just do that classic thing of, it's 3 for 2, let's get 9 rolls of wrapping paper or whatever.
Yeah.
And you don't actually need it. And so you can use the cards that you had from last year. Card giving is going down and down with every passing year. So a lot of people have got those cards and wrapping paper and so on in the cupboards already. And wouldn't it be nice not to have to store that wrapping paper till next year?
I know. Because
also we buy things in a sale. People buy things in a sale when they're, 20%, 20% of the original price, and we think, we'll buy that for next year in January, put it in the top of a cupboard and forget about it completely, and then and then all of a sudden in July you find the wrapping paper that you bought for last Christmas in the sale.
I know.
And so it's things like that, because we do forget, particularly those kind of Christmassy things. If we've got young children, we do try and hide them, don't we?
Yeah.
We try and hide them away from the children and then forget about them. Yeah. So it's important for that kind of thing as well.
Yeah, good point. I think also what is really helpful in November is to do a bit of an audit and a sort out in your wardrobes.
Right, okay.
Because especially if you've got a lot of kind of more, if you want to have a nice outfit for Christmas and want to dress up a little bit, have a look at what you still have from previous years. Again, maybe you did buy a lovely dress in the sale last January. You've completely forgotten because you thought that's a great dress for next Christmas. Now you can't remember. You're off out again trying to look for an outfit. Well, if you take stock of what you have, you might find a dress or a lovely top or a nice pair of trousers that you can mix and match with something that you can wear this holiday season. And maybe then you only need to buy a nice piece of jewelry.
Yeah.
And not spend, and to change it up and not spend a lot of money on all new outfits all the time. So see if you can mix and match and find maybe a treasure in your cupboard you've forgotten that you had.
Well, they say we wear 20% of our clothes 80% of the time, don't they? So that other 80% is probably, there's a party dress lurking somewhere in there, isn't there?
Yeah.
That we can wear, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, that would, that's great. And that's a great way to save some money as well, especially because Christmas in the holiday season is such an expensive time of year. If you can make it work like that, I mean, it's really, really good, I think.
Yeah, definitely. So we're not saying that don't declutter in January, because we'd also like you to declutter in January as well. Those New Year's resolutions are always great. And hopefully in 2019, then the New Year's resolutions are going to come good with the help of the Declutter Hub, aren't they, Ingrid?
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, we think it's really good to do a kind of mini declutter in November. Focus things, maybe toys if you've got young children, definitely your wardrobe. It doesn't necessarily need to be a dress. It could be an outfit as well, Ingrid.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And also I think when you go through some cupboards and some wardrobes, you might find some stuff that you had completely forgotten you were given last year. And it might also make you a bit more aware of, wow, these gifts were given last Christmas. They've ended up in a cupboard. We haven't used them. We haven't even missed them. We've forgotten they were there. And make you rethink about the gifts you give to other people.
Yeah.
And maybe it's an excellent way to maybe also have a conversation with your friends and family or whoever you spend Christmas with, to look at how are we celebrating it, and do we just randomly buy gifts for each other that not really make us happy?
People do different things, don't they? Decide, and particularly as families change and families get older, and there's little kids, and that or it just changes over time, and who you buy for changes, and so maybe it's time to do just one sort of Secret Santa gift, and pick it out of a hat rather than buy for everybody, that kind of thing. One thing I just wanted to mention, which can be quite a contentious thing, what do we think about repurposing gifts? So recycling gifts.
I think, for me personally, I have got no problems with it, but I think if you still remember who gave the gift to you, you don't want to give it back to the same person. Here in the UK, I think there are a lot of raffles. So if you get a lot of smellies over Christmas and body lotions and soaps and things like that, and you've gotten so many, you will never use them up. I think those are perfect gifts to put in a raffle. But I think it's also then important to say, if there's a group of friends who all just give smellies to each other, why don't you just go out for a nice meal instead of buying stuff for each other, and maybe do it in a different way and kind of rethink the whole gift giving over Christmas?
Yeah, definitely. And if you don't feel comfortable giving it away, to a raffle or whatever, November's a great time to give to charity all of those unwrapped gifts, and then they can sell them on as Christmas gifts. I mean, what a great thing that would be.
Yeah.
And that's your charitable giving done then for Christmas, which would be fantastic.
That feels good as well to give nice stuff away that that the charity shop can sell and can make money of.
Of course.
It's just wonderful. And I mean, Christmas is such a lovely time of year anyway, It's good to spread the love and make other people enjoy a lovely Christmas as well. But I think in the end, what it all boils down to, it's about the people. It's not about the presents. It's about the people you hang out with, and the fun you have, and the experiences of being together.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, listeners, we hope you've enjoyed this episode. That's it for now, and hope you've enjoyed listening, and that you will do some of the decluttering this side of the holiday season and save some money, which is always good. Thanks for taking the time to listen today. If you'd like to get more tips and advice, follow us on social media. And if you don't want to miss the next episode, please subscribe to the Declutter Hub podcast. See you next time.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of the Declutter Hub podcast. Check out declutterhub.com for more inspiration, and don't forget to tune in next week.